Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun. Baby, I got this from lovebscott.com and I think our voices have been heard. Real Housewives of Atlanta reboot in the works. Production is demanding fresh new peaches after disastrous season. Now, I will say this. I think B. Scott has some kind of deal with Bravo. So I'm going to say allegedly because I wasn't sitting at this table, but we about to get into it. Let's go. Sources exclusively tell lovebscott.com that production made the call to recast the entire show at some point during the taping of the season 15 reunion. The reunion, y'all. Now, the source also said that Bravo is very happy with the reboot of the Real Housewives of New York. Now, I don't know if y'all watching it. I am trying, but I'm not talking about it. I'm just trying, right? Because I have an affinity for the people who have left. I like the new girls, but it's a little hard for me. But the network is also very pleased with the upcoming season of The Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine. Okay, let's keep going. Casting for fresh new peaches is already underway. We're told production has been quietly reaching out to managers and agents looking for new girls. There's no interest in bringing back any old faces either. Not Portia nor Kim Zolciak. Definitely not Kim. Now, we wouldn't mind Portia, but definitely not Kim. Y'all, they around here that they don't even know. Like I said, I was not at the table. This is allegedly, but it is so good. Let's keep going. Now, it's also being said allegedly that production has been looking for new peaches. And they may keep one or two of the old peaches like they did in Miami, right? And then brought some more girls in. But they could go on a brief hiatus to get this casting just right. I say go on the brief hiatus, child. Get it right. Because if we watch it, we want to watch something good. What do y'all think about this thus far? Let's keep going. So I'm assuming that it's Love B. Scott that previously reported that it's hard and difficult to cast for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's why certain housewives have gotten peaches. And I'm just going to go on and say it. Marlo, Drew, although Courtney doesn't have a peach, why is she there? And that girl Akila who's friends with Kenya, no. So, yeah, y'all need to do a whole reboot. But like I said, our voices have been heard, baby, because Bravo and production have been concerned with the fan feedback that they have been getting from us all season. It's the worst that they've ever seen, right? And production also tells Love B. Scott that several of the later episodes were re-edited to try to make it more entertaining for us, not to show favoritism toward any one cast member. Now, I don't know how they didn't want to show favoritism. Kenya had a whole salon to open. We just saw her in a room full of hope. And then you got Candy over here who has a full out movie, right? You got Chiiiilllleee over here that had a full out sipping sea. And for Bob to come and show her up. That's why they brought Bob in there with the daughter. That was re-edited. Because that was good. Kenya is devastated. Let's keep going, child. Speaking of Kenya, baby, she has been very vocal about allegedly having her storyline cut and edited her salon event out of the final episodes. Because actually, Kenya's opening of her salon should have been at the end of the episode. You had Chiiiilllleee with this imaginary clothing line at the end of an episode. You definitely could have had this. She had a building with people in it. That would have been okay. But child, they saying that Kenya's event wasn't shown because it was dry and nothing happened. Now, I'm going to say this. When Kenya had that interview with Carlos King, right? And she said something about editing. Okay. I could not with Carlos in that moment. Because when Carlos talked about Destiny on Love and Marriage Huntsville, and she mentioned edits, Carlos says that is what people do when they don't bring anything or give you anything to the show. They blame it on editing. I'm going to leave that right there. Let's keep going. Okay, I will say this. Kenya is not always at the top of my list. But when you're right, you're right. And I'm going to be on that side of right. I'm going to give Kenya this because Kenya did get dealt a bad hand, right? So she's responding to someone on Twitter. Basically, they're saying if this is Kenya's spa, maybe she made a conscious business decision not to have it featured on the show. Kenya said that's completely false. She said the spa would have followed her real life. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The end, opening, and completion was intentionally deleted while others focused on whatever fell out of the sky. I would have loved to have seen Kenya's process, because that mess that they showed with her dancing in front of a green screen in a leotard, waiting for a man whose picture we saw all season finally show up with a bag of food and we never see him again. Absolutely, I would have taken a spa over that mess. What would you have taken? Now, baby, this is where I reside right here, because this is an HR situation, and that's me. It is always easier to get new people at a lower cost than keep who you have and have to elevate them financially. I feel like Kandi and Kenya may be out. Now, this is what was reported to Love B. Scott. Kandi and Kenya have hefty salaries. The network could get an entirely new Real Housewives of Atlanta cast for less than what they pay Kenya and Kandi. Absolutely. But let me tell you about Kandi. She was on an interview and she was saying she didn't think a reboot would work for Atlanta like it did for New York. It will. But the reason she said that is because Kandi uses this as a marketing tool. Like, you got to give it to the girl. She came in the Real Housewives of Atlanta and she did what she was supposed to do. And she did it better than anybody. She and Bethany Frankel, they did what was supposed to have been done. Right? Now, I'm not saying that Kandi wouldn't be able to push anything else if she wasn't on the show, but it's way easier to push when you have a platform. She got a whole toy line. She done put out plays and now a movie and a new toy. She just showed a new toy this season. What would she do? That's why she think it won't work. But it will, Kandi. And as they put it into perspective, Kandi and Kenya are making $100,000 per episode. The Real Housewives of New York, they're making that for an entire season. They're out of there, allegedly. Lastly, before I go to my next thing, with the new rumblings of a new Real Housewives of Atlanta coming up, they said do not be surprised if you see more of the ladies airing out their grievances. Now, you see Kenya is very vocal. She had a lot to say, because I said when she was doing that interview with Carlos, I said, don't let Carlos fool around and get you fired. Baby, she airing them out. But I got one more thing. Hold on. Lastly, y'all, I was over there on Cheryl's World on YouTube, and word on the curb is this is not going to even happen. Y'all remember when I posted this and I was like, are we here for another Kandi in the gang? And Kandi has mentioned it too, right? Child, the word is Andy Cohen told Kandi that they would give her a second season just to keep her on board. Now, I was listening to Cheryl and she was right. Like, why would Andy do anything like that? It's Andy. And he would do it. These people will tell you anything to keep you doing what it is that they need to do until they don't need you. Because honestly, I don't need to see this anymore. I don't need to see this. And actually, I would not even cover this. Y'all, what do y'all think about this? Do we need to... Oh, I got so much to do. Y'all, we're going to talk about it. It's your girl, Millie Chun. Baby, let's get in the comments. Bye, y'all.